It's really problematic because the first, I'll say, 10 sets of fixtures looked really good for them. Yes, there were some tough fixtures in there, but after they went past Tottenham Hotspur, they got that 2-2 draw at Manchester City. It really looked like they were on course to build on that. But they've just basically collapsed. And a similar thing happened last season, if you remember, around December, where they started dropping points against teams they were not supposed to be dropping points again, went off, and then managed to come back. By the time Man City went on top of the league, it was done and dusted. We all know that Manchester City finished this league very well, so it is very important, if you want to win, to have a very good start. If you remember, the only time that City have not won in the past 7 years, in the season that Klopp won, Liverpool created this very huge gap. And by the time football returned and they slipped up 1 or 2, in fact, they lost at City, they went to draw at Everton, the gap was so huge, Manchester City wasn't able to catch up. And that's how you do it. When you have winnable games in front of you, you win them. And I'll say this Newcastle game was winnable because if you look at Newcastle over the start of this season, they've not necessarily, they are not as strong as they were a couple of seasons
ago. They're also very inconsistent.
They are also very inconsistent. They're also going through their struggles. And for us now, it's what bothers me is the statistics in terms of their defense. They are conceding more chances. They are conceding more shots at goal. They are conceding more goals. And you see, if it reaches a point, teams will not be afraid to start attacking them. And that's not what they want. At the start of this season, teams have been quite cautious against Arsenal, yet still they are creating opportunities. If it gets to a point where teams look at the Arsenal defense and realize that they are not as good as they were last season, and you can orchestrate an offensive game plan against them and probably could punish them, we'll start seeing a bit more recurrence in terms of team strategy against them. And that's not what they want. Arsenal are also struggling to score goals. They are struggling to create chances with the fluidity that they were and the frequency that they were last season. So it's a big problem for Arteta, and he needs to fix it as soon as possible because this is the time. The team is ripe. They've gone through a lot of...
I can't believe only this season, we're only 10 matches in, right?
Yeah.
But there was a point, it feels like this season has been on forever because there was a point where Saliba and Gabriel were being compared to the Chelsea defense. Like, all of that happened already this season. Yeah. People even said they were going to concede fewer goals.
Yeah, you see, what scares me is, I remember 5 years ago when Arteta got the job,
You were a big critic.
Look, he was inexperienced for the job. He would probably eventually get there. But one thing I kept on saying was, what was the guarantee that when he gets there, he will be able to win something for Arsenal? And if we don't take care, this could be another season like that. And then you look back at his time and it will be what if? And I'm not sure Arsenal fans will want that. I'm not sure Arteta himself will want that. But he needs to look, this is a do or die. If he doesn't win something big this season, then it raises...
And Slot wins.
Trouble.
And that's even though... And that goes back to the argument we had here, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago about Ten Hag delivering 2 tangibles and Arteta delivering progress.
Yeah, that argument is always down to consistency. If you are always challenging and not winning,
that's the point. But the manager, you made the right point.
Challenge a couple season, then you start winning.
Yes,
but
you just made the point that kills Arteta about the fact that is he a man that can turn consistency into winning?
Yeah,
that is the ultimate question. Because I think Arsenal have gone through that period way too many times where they consistently were in the top 4, but they were not winning, and people started calling them top 4 FC. I think the last few years of Arsene Wenger, it was like that. Yeah. So Arsenal are very used to being consistent for a long time without winning. I think what they need or want now is to convert that into victories. And to be fair, Arteta has brought them from a very dark place, if I'm not, maybe for want of a better expression.
But also, I don't think the current generation of Arsenal fans are used to competing for the title regularly and not winning. Even the Cesc Fabregas generation, that was an outlier. 2009 was about the only time they came really close. Every other time, it's been top 4 consistency. The issue for me here...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But before Arteta, there was no top 4 consistency. That's what I meant. Yeah.